Another thing that I don't particularly appreciate about having ADHD is rejection sensitivity dysphoria. It's a hoe, is what it is. It's another thing that's kind of hard to explain because it gets intertwined with all the other raggediness of ADHD. Because if you don't have it, or like even if you do, it sounds like rejection sensitivity dysphoria sounds like, oh, you just don't like being told no. Motherfucker, who do? Or you said she didn't want to touch your little ding-a-ling? You're weak is what that is. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. Here's an example that might make a little bit more sense. Or not. I don't know. We at the club, right? And I see you. And you see me. And you see me see you. And you see me see you. We see each other. Now, I don't care what any dude say. It's hard to just walk up and start talking to a girl. It just is. Even the dudes that are best at it. It's still hard. It's just you're walking up and talking to a stranger who has the ability to get inside your soul and crush it. It's a stressful situation, but it's a situation you're going to get over because, you know, the worst thing she could say is no, which is a lie, by the way. Worst case scenario, though, you get embarrassed. You don't want to deal with it, but you do. So what rejection sensitivity dysphoria does is, in my head, I go over there. I ask her for a number. I surprise her. She says no. She fumbles back because she's scared of me. She bumps into somebody. Drinks start spilling. She screams. She points at me. He tried to touch me. The lights come on. Now everybody's looking at me. I'm albino. I'm already disgusting. Now I got to fight my way out of this club and get my ass beat. The cops come. Obviously, it's my fault because I'm the weird one. I go to jail, but I don't want to stay in jail. Which side do I pick? Black people. Yeah, I know some of y'all was think it's black people. God damn it. Or albino. If there's an albino concave in prison, I'll be on them. Anyway, parole date comes up, but then there's a riot in the gym, and I gotta kill somebody. Now I'm in prison for the rest of my life, all because I decided to walk up and talk to this girl. Now, obviously, that is not what's going to happen. But my brain thinks it is, so it sends the signals to my body. My body goes into fight or flight. So now, I'm not walking up to that girl with the, well, she says yes, then that'd be cool, and if she says no, I'll feel a little embarrassed. My brain is like, yo, if you go talk to that girl, are you willing to go to jail for the rest of your life? That's the imaginary stakes it created, but since it put my body into fight or flight, that's what I'm physically feeling. But I can't show that emotion because I've been told for my entire life that that is wrong. But since, you know, emotions are usually on the inside, people have a hard time believing that that's what's going on in that situation. And that can be for every situation. This is why it seems that, you know, a lot of people with ADHD are really good in a crisis. It's because we're always in crisis. It's the Hulk. I'm always angry. Now, there's obviously a spectrum of how bad this can be. And, you know, what you've gone through in your life is going to have something to do with it. And before, when I said it gets kind of intertwined, I mean, like, this can get intertwined with the guilt part of ADHD. But the guilt part comes from the empathy part. Because people with ADHD are constantly taking in way too much information, we're taking too much information around our environment, around people, so we can feel what other people are feeling. I don't mean like empathize with somebody, but I mean literally have a physiological effect from another person's feelings. It's a crazy thing. I used to think I was an alien until I realized it was just, I was looking at more shit. It's a weird feeling, but basically what's happening is my brain is constantly taking in information, even when I don't want it to. And some of that information is being processed and used and then fed into the body. We lack the ability to narrow focus at will. So we're in a crowded room. I'm hearing every single conversation and seeing everything that's going on, but I'm not registering that I'm doing it. Sometimes you might be like, dude, we should get out of here. There's going to be a fight. You leave and then there's a fight, and you might have known exactly how that was going to happen. You're not a magician. You're not Professor X. Okay. Your brain just can't focus on one thing. It focuses on everything and then just doesn't tell you about all of it. And then we fall back to the trauma part of it. Because that means that if you are a kid and you're going through trauma at home, even if it's not you physically going through the trauma, if the trauma is happening in the house, you're going to feel it. And your brain's going to remember those things. And then it's going to make up rules for you to follow, but not tell you. It's all connected. And it sucks. One of the things that I do to combat this a little bit, and I don't know if it helps anybody else, is I talk to myself a lot. Out loud. Out loud. And I talk to a younger version of myself so I can hear what I'm actually saying. The reason it helps me is because I remember how I felt as a kid, because my brain remembers all that shit, but it can't remember to drink water, which is crazy, actually. So I just talk to my younger self as my older self, and I can remember, oh, that wouldn't have sounded good, so maybe you should change that up. I don't know if that makes sense, but it has helped me a little bit. Talking to yourself does help. Meditation does help. The one thing that really does help, though, is not getting too mad at yourself when you do have these, man, I can't do this thing, these moments where you just you're in fight or flight and you can't get out. You're just gonna have to realize that sometimes that's going to happen, and sometimes people are gonna be mad at you, and then you can apologize and they can accept it or they can't. And sometimes you're gonna have to apologize to yourself. For real. You're gonna have to apologize to yourself. And yeah, it's stupid and it feels weird and it's dumb and I don't like it. And I don't even do it as much as I probably should. But, you know, nobody's perfect.